Hello there, you're welcome to our Health Hour, your go-to podcast for informative discussions around women's health. In the gym, your car, kitchen, or wherever you decide, tune in every 2 weeks for new hot topics you don't want to miss. And hold on, do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms so you join the conversations at our Health Hour.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Her Health Hour. We're so pleased to be recording today with one of our guests, and it's Toki, the famous infertility coach. And today she'll be sharing her story with us, and we're looking forward to hearing from her, getting inspired from her story, and also to convince other people that it's okay to, speak out about your situation. And initially we had an episode on TTC, but this is a further insight into the topic that we had already discussed with somebody that has had like a first-hand experience with the situation. So Anu, we're so happy to have you here today.
I know he's brave, and she has built a safe space for women on Instagram to give them strength and empower them, especially as regards to trying to conceive. So I think what she's doing is very powerful, and we're happy to have her on the show today so that she can share her story all about motherhood and everything she has struggled with from a fertility perspective, and most importantly, lessons that she would like to leave with other women going through the same thing today. So Anu, I think we can start from the very beginning. Tell us about yourself, tell us about your journey to motherhood. We would like to hear everything.
Hi, sisters. Thank you for inviting me. I love what you do. I've gone through your page. It's really wonderful that you're doing this because we don't have so many people, so many pages speaking up about women's health. And if we have more people talking about it and taking it seriously, I feel like the stigma will reduce and will make a lot of headway. So my name is Toki. I'll go straight into it. My name is Toki, and I run Fertility Besties. That's because we don't talk about these issues. I know on the page, it's not like I give medical advice, but I create community and peer support, which is very necessary for this journey. People just want to feel seen, want to feel heard. They want to see their voice. They want to hear their voice, see that someone is speaking for them. Sometimes I could say something, and sometimes I feel like I'm oversharing. I could just talk about a period or a thought I used to have or something I used to do, and someone will say, "Oh, I thought I was only the one. I thought I was being silly. I thought the only one who usually does something like that." So people feel heard and seen. And that's the essence of the page, just to provide support, to listen without judging. That's what I do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I like what you said about when other people hear the story, they also be like, oh, I'm not the only one experiencing this. That is the real power of other women being brave enough to share their story, because you don't know who might be experiencing the same thing, and we really need that, just to understand that I'm not the only one this is happening to. And that courage, that motivation will help them go through the situation more strongly. So I think we really also be interested to hear your story, particularly about how motherhood has been for you, like getting your motherhood journey. What were the challenges that you faced specifically? I know you've been very vocal about your trying to conceive journey, so we would like to hear all of that, most importantly for women that will be listening to this and going through the same thing and just want to pick one or two things from your own story. So start from the very beginning. Tell us, what were your expectations when you started trying to conceive? Just take us through your motherhood journey.
Okay, so I got married at 22, and that's the age that, our culture, they'll say, oh, that's the prime age, that's the best age to marry a woman. Even if you are 70 years old, marry someone in my early 20s, because she begin to pop babies within 9 months. And I was also naive. I knew absolutely nothing about women's health. And I wasn't even trying to conceive. I thought I would just have sex and get pregnant, right? So I got married at 22, and honestly, I just assumed it would happen quickly. And I've seen family members who had babies 9 months after their wedding. So in my mind, I thought it would be fast and smooth. Nothing. I didn't even know about ovulation, that you have to have sex when you're ovulating or any of that. I just thought, now growing up, you hear that once a guy touches you, you get pregnant. When you watch African Magic Yoruba, you see that,
Yeah.
first time she has sex, she's already vomiting the next day. So I just expected that, I was going to get pregnant immediately. If I'd met a prophet who had told me when I was getting married that, you would conceive, you need to go through IVF, I'd have just said, prophet of doom, false prophets, block the person everywhere. Maybe even call them out on Instablog, because I would never have imagined that I'll go through this journey. But at the end of the day, to God be the glory, I have 2 little boys to show for it. So it wasn't a pleasant journey, but it was worth it.
Yeah. So, like, for how many years did you try to conceive?
7 years. It turned
Was
into 7 years. Yeah.
and through all this time you were trying, like, what were your thoughts? How did it affect you emotionally, spiritually? What were your thoughts? Did you think, oh, this could be a spiritual problem? Because most people, when they are facing this, I mean, for a long time, that thought just comes from nowhere. No matter how strong you are spiritually, you just feel like, oh, is something happening? Is my village people doing me or something like that? So what were your thoughts during that process?
Yeah, absolutely correct. Because yes, I wasn't sure. So, but I also believed it was something spiritual, because people will say spiritual, or you see religious programs inviting you for something without even asking you, have you run tests? And it's mostly targeted towards women, because I would go all the time and it was only women who would be there. And half of the cases are men. So I don't know, maybe the prayers will transfer to the men. That's what they are saying, or I don't even know. But but yes, I did think at many points it was spiritual. I would attend religious events, and then at some point I was actually even told, at some point a prophet had told me that it was my cousin that was used. Of course, I didn't believe that. I didn't buy it for 1 second. I just said okay. And then there was another one who had said I had spiritual husband, and I actually I went through I don't know what you call it, the spiritual exercise to bring a separation between me and the spiritual husband. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I don't think it's a coincidence, because shortly after, like, I'm talking about like 2-3 weeks after, I got pregnant. Like, I had a positive pregnancy test, but then I lost it. So it was a bit sketchy. I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
But in our culture, in our upbringing, we are mostly spiritual people. And even when we go through science and use medicine, we still believe in the God factor behind
Yeah.
it. So, of course, I always still believed in the God factor in the spiritual side of things. And at the end of the day, I conceived via IVF, and I still believe that it had to do with God's timing and things being right, and God giving approval to it, because it wasn't my first IVF cycle. I'd done one before. It was the second one. And sometimes you may need more. And I know people who have had IVF in the past, and they just naturally conceived without even doing anything or being on any medication or treatment. So I believe in God factor and spirituality having an impact on it. Emotionally, I numbed myself completely. So initially, my period used to make me sad, but I got to a point where my period would come and I would still joke and say, see, my period just came, and I would laugh over it. And I wasn't hot. Or where someone would get pregnant, I'll see pregnancy announcement or baby announcement, and they never got to me. I just know to myself. And it was after I started speaking up to it about it that I found out that was my own coping strategy. And in that time, it served me right, because I was okay. I would see babies, I won't be hot. But now I have a lot to unbox. It's now created so much trauma. And now that when I even talk about infertility and things I went, it's fresh. I feel hot all over again. Now that I'm speaking about it, it's not only helping people who I speak to and who read about my story, it helps me as well because everything I've unboxed, the emotions, the feelings over the years. Finally, there's like an outlet, and I feel better. And not only do I feel better, it's like my pain is helping other people as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that must have
important.
been a very, very like tough time in your life, especially because it's TTC is a very, very lonely journey for a lot of people that don't have like the understanding of how one is actually feeling emotionally. And to add to your situation, you were having like, different ideas and different accusations here and there, which could even maybe if you had like a good relationship with your cousin that was accused, somebody that is more gullible will sympathize with that cousin or start a whole conflict in the family. So it must have been really tough. And you also mentioned the fact that you were going for some programs and a lot of times it was just the women, no man in sight. And we actually have a previous episode, Belkis, talking
Yeah.
around TTC as well, talking about how 50%, it's now 50-50, like the statistics of infertility.
Yes,
So
50-50,
imagine,
yeah.
and a lot of men, like, they're not really open. The way we women sit and talk about our problems, even if it's even a missed period or
Yes.
something like it's a heavy period, we discuss it as women. We're open and we speak, we're concerned, right? But for men, it's not something they naturally sit down and discuss to each other, like, bro, I think I'm infertile or I think I'm impotent. It's not something that naturally comes unless it comes to like they're really, really compelled to do so. So a lot of times we keep saying every single time that it's not just about the women. We're very, very concerned about sensitizing the society about that. They should actually look out for the men too. It's not only women that we should be calling to advise, sister, what is wrong with you? It should also be, brother, have you gotten yourself checked?
Yes.
Right, it's not only women that can be taking concoction and everything. So I understand it must have been a very, very tough journey for you, and we're glad that you're able to share with other people to inspire them and motivate them that there's lights at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. And I think we've said it many times, men's fertility health is as important as women as well. Like, so as a man, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that you also need to check yourself regularly. Your sperm quality is totally important. Sometimes it fluctuates, might be good this month and next month, something else is happening, maybe the DNA fragmentation or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
it's good if you are facing fertility challenges. It shouldn't be all attention on the women. It should also be that the man is also like checking himself as well. So I know, I think I would like us to pick on the IVF part of your journey, because you mentioned you later did an IVF. Was it one cycle that worked for you, or you had to do multiple cycles? What was the average cost? If you are open to sharing that, where did you do it? You might not share the fertility clinic, but maybe like country, any detail that you can share that could be helpful to people listening.
Okay, so the first IVF cycle I had was in Ilorin, and the cost
Ilorin, Nigeria, because we have listeners
Ilorin,
from
Nigeria, Ilorin, Nigeria, and it would have been about $1 million. I can't remember right now because they had other addition. Because okay, I had to do some tests, then I did laparoscopy and every other. So a combination, it would be about $1 million. The one that worked was in Abuja, and I really loved the package that they offered because it entitled me to 3 IVF cycles. And at that time, they even said, if you get pregnant, then it cancels. You can't come back for the other 2. But if you get pregnant and lose the pregnancy before the first 20 weeks, then you can come back for the next one. And being that I already had a miscarriage before, so I just went for that one. And the total of that one will be about 2.5 million then.
okay.
IVF is not, and IVF is expensive.
0.5 million naira, not dollars, pounds.
Naira, please.
Yeah.
So IVF is expensive. In every country, is expensive for an average citizen in every country. if you're paying private, it's expensive. But then the
Yeah.
expenses is even could be one of the lists of the challenge because it's an
Mm.
emotional roller coaster. It's a very difficult time because usually when you're trying to conceive um and you ovulate, between that ovulation and then before your period comes, that 2 weeks, that 2 week wait is something else because you just keep calculating, keep worried whether you're pregnant or not. Now when you're doing IVF, is like the pressure is
Double.
so much more because
Mm.
you're doing something different. You're not sure, then you start questioning yourself and thinking, oh, am I doing enough? Am I resting enough? Am I active enough? Did I give myself the injection at the right site? Um, was it too deep? Did it go in right? Should I do my tummy on my hands? You just keep questioning yourself. Did I take the medication well? I remember when my first IVF failed. In fact, one of my thoughts was maybe I didn't inject myself properly, or maybe it was
Mm.
something I had done
Blame
wrong.
yourself. Yeah.
Yes, you blame yourself. It's just if you've not gone through it, you can't fully understand because I can't express it in words. But
Mm.
when I speak with someone else who've gone through, we don't even have to say so much. It's not a walk in the park. It's very difficult, and the worst part is it's not guaranteed. IVF will just is a shot as increasing your chances, but it's not guaranteed. So you may conceive on first IVF. I have a mom who conceived triplets. She has the triplets now on a first
No.
IVF. And then
Mm.
there are couples who have gone through like 10, 11, and there's still nothing to show for it. So that's the crazy part.
Mm.
It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy. It's not something I would wish for others to go through again. And even me, when people ask me, "Well, do you want to have more kids?" I say that means I need to go through IVF again. It's not easy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. IVF is not easy. It's not a guarantee either,
Not
because that's
exactly.
what some people think, that once you are having fertility issues, people will just advise you go and do
Go and
IVF.
drive
Go
it.
and do
And
Yeah.
now
IVF.
people will say, just do IVF. What do you mean by just do
Yeah,
IVF? IVF is not just, and it's not
is
just
that
about the money.
It's
You can
not
have
just money.
you can
Yeah.
have so much money. You can be the richest man, and IVF will
Hmm.
humble you.
hmm,
Honestly.
hmm, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yes, so like, during the journey of trying to conceive, how did you feel, like, if you don't mind us asking, did you feel supported by your partner? Did you feel the emotional or physical support, or did you feel isolated? Because it's really, really important that we talk about it, because emotional health also contributes to our physical health as well. And what, so for somebody going through the IVF, like, women need reassurance, women need physical and emotional support. And if that's not there, even if you have the money, if you're able to do 10 cycles or whatever, it might affect you physically as well, and might, like, reduce your chances of it happening. So how did you feel on your journey? Did you feel supported? Did you feel isolated? Something like that.
Yeah, my husband and I were a team like right from day one, and that was really good. And actually, that time helped us build our marriage as well, our friendship. We got really closer, and it just was a good foundation for our marriage as well. And he has this calming presence that helped me stay grounded through it all. And sometimes it'll be like, just calm down. Many of these religious events I want to go to, or concussions I want to buy, he will say, don't, I don't think you should. But just to make me happy, like, okay, so it doesn't feel like we're not doing anything. We'll say, okay, let's do it. But you just get this calm reassurance through it. Our friends and family were very supportive as well. And they were really there, very sensitive, and they wouldn't just bring it up casually like that. But in all of it, it's still isolating. It's still quite isolating because you still feel alone. I still felt alone. I still couldn't just bring up the conversation I wouldn't just randomly talk about it, about my struggles. I'll just keep it to myself and just go on Google, spend all of my time on Google. That's, if you met me in person, you have no idea that I was trying to conceive if someone didn't tell you, because I would never make mention of it, even with friends and family.
Yeah.
Because, even if I talk to them about it, what do I want them to do? Is mostly would just ruin their day. They'll feel bad. Yes, I know they would have wanted me to talk about it, to support me. But I also just had this mindset of, if someone cannot help me, why talk to them about it? So, and I knew they were praying, so there was no point raising it. So trying to conceive is a very isolating journey, no matter how much activity you have in your life and how much support and family you have around you. You still feel alone until you have, like, you speak with someone else going through it. That's why peer support is really important in the journey. Yeah, and of
Mm.
course, family, friends were good, were supportive, but then there were still rumors in the community, like,
Yeah.
oh, I had a damaged womb, or my husband had sold his own fertility to make money, or in exchange of money. Ridiculous, cruel rumors still went
Yeah.
round. But um, at the end of the day, I just felt like not everybody deserves access to your pain. And I never put
Yeah.
down the rumors. I just let it go. So yeah, it was supportive. I was supported,
Yeah.
but at the same
You
time, I
got
still felt isolated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is very, very normal. I mean, you're the only one that's, wearing your own shoes and you know where it hurts. And we're really glad that you were able to get the support from the people, the most important people, which is your spouse and your family, that you were able to get back the support that you needed from them.
Yeah.
For some others, that is even the time that their spouse even abandons them, accuse them of witchcraft, or what did you do while you were single? You start
Yeah.
questioning your person, your character, or who you have been in the past, or something like that, because they just can't fathom the fact that sometimes not everybody has it easy. I mean, we've even seen like some videos on like on social media where maybe somebody cuts their friends off just because they're infertile, or they're
Really?
struggling with infertility. Can you imagine that? So these are the times like they really need your help, and vice versa. Like sometimes as humans, which is very, very normal, like when we're struggling with something and somebody else gets it easily, it is only normal to feel like, oh, isolated and also a bit bitter, right? That, oh, okay, something that I'm really, really struggling to, this person just has it easy and I can't relate, right? And then, they start pulling backwards. They don't even want to be around people. And then when somebody announces their pregnancy, they start crying or something. So for that reason, they don't want people to see them as a jealous friend or a jealous family member. So they pull back, right? So I personally even know some people that like she has like sisters, and the sisters have a lot of children. So we're talking 6, 7 children, and then she has infertility issue. And to make it even more distant, much worse, her fertility is unexplained. So they can't even put a finger on it, or like they don't know how to help her, because she's tried all the various fertility treatments available, but nothing is happening. They're saying everything looks okay, but for some reason, it's not just happening. So you can imagine somebody in that situation, no solution in sight, and then also her family members, everybody has like a lot of children. So it's a lot of emotional treasure
Yeah.
and trauma on her, because it just leaves you feeling like, why is my own different? Why is my... But it is now what you do about those feelings that now like justify like who you are in the end, and all. So we're really happy that you were able to get the support that you needed from your people, and they did not isolate you, and you did not isolate yourself from them as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let me also mention, I know it may be natural and people don't do it. They don't mean bad when they do it. It may just be natural. You notice that sometimes when people get married, they associate more with other married women because they're at a new stage of their life, and maybe that's peer support for them as well. And then when women have children, they relate with them. They start picking up friends who are mothers as well. And then the ones who don't have kids feel left behind because they are not invited to brunch, they are not invited to birthdays, they're just on their own watching from the sideline, and it almost feels like, oh, I'm not cool. Like when you're in high school, I'm not cool enough to sit with you. That feeling comes. And up till now, I still struggle with making friendship with moms. Like, I'm not going to be your friend just because you're a mom, or we have kids in the same class, or our kids are friends. It's still there. I would make friends more easily with someone who is trying to conceive, or someone that our vibes just click and check. But because we have kids and you're trying to make friends with me, it doesn't work for me, because I still remember, and I still feel like, you, even though I'm a mom now, like, and I know of course it's not them, it's other moms, but I feel like, oh, well, since I was not good enough to sit with you moms, then I don't want to be at your table. Just leave me alone, my little bubble.
That emotional connection is very important. If you didn't have it then, you are like, why now?
Why not?
So why are you guys wanting to be friends now? And it's totally normal. It's also understandable. I know you got married at the age of 22, and it took you 7 years. So that means you conceived at the age of 29. So would you say that getting married early, just starting the motherhood journey early on, is still a bit of advantage to you? And also, just another flip side of that question, what would you have done differently when you look back? So 2 questions. Did age, like, do you think you still had that advantage, getting married early and all? And then secondly, what would you have done differently looking back at your TTC journey?
Yeah, to be honest, the first question, this life or fertility journey doesn't have any manual. So I can't really say, because I could have gotten married at 35 and I've zeroed my mind that, okay, it's IVF, and I do IVF the first time it doesn't work. And maybe even in the next 2 months, I do another one and I get pregnant. But because I married at 22, I feel like even maybe the medical team, they didn't really take it serious. Even me, I just kept hoping and praying. But if I had gone to see a gynae at 35, they would take it very serious and they'll run the test. And even the test I began to run when I was like 23 years. I started running tests at 23. They didn't even pick up what should have been picked, because I felt they just felt like, oh, she's just 22, she'll get pregnant. Just use folic acid, use pregnant care, and you'll be okay. They didn't focus on it. It wasn't until towards the end, it wasn't until when I went for my second IVF that they picked up more issues. And then that cycle took way longer than it would have. Usually for people, 4 to 6 weeks you're done. Mine took so long, and they had to keep changing protocol and starting all over again before we achieved success. So I'm very thankful to that medical team for being patient with me. So there's really I can't really say. If I had gone to that IVF clinic the first time I did IVF at 24, I probably would have gotten pregnant then. So I really can't say if starting early gave me an advantage or not. Your other question is, what could I have done differently? Yeah, the first thing is, I would have gone for a more experienced IVF clinic rather than convenient, because I was living in Ilorin, Nigeria at that time. So I just wanted a place that was close to home, convenient. I would have gone out of my convenience. Experience matters a lot when choosing the clinic you use. And then I would have gone back for my second IVF cycle sooner, because when I had the first one, oh my God, because my faith, my hope was so strong. When it failed, I was completely crushed. I was completely crushed. That even my husband was like, okay, we're not doing IVF again, and we just zeroed our mind. If we have kids, fine. If we don't have kids, fine. So it took me years to go back for the second one. So in hindsight, I would have gone back sooner.
Yeah.
And maybe I would have considered therapy as well, instead of just bottling things down and building trauma that I didn't know existed. I just felt like I was an happy person. Yes, I'm happy, and I was happy for others, and it didn't affect me. I didn't realize that it was building up somewhere else.
No, those are very powerful lessons that you've shared, because that also already answers the question, what lessons you've learned and what would you like to share with other women. So thank you, Anu, for that.
Yeah. So, was there like any lifestyle changes like during your cycle? Was there any lifestyle changes that you did that you think must have helped your journey, especially like during the second time or the first time? I don't know, whatever you're comfortable to share, like with other people that are hoping to go and start their own cycle.
Yeah. So lifestyle change is very important. I didn't change a lot. Actually, I didn't change a lot. The only thing I worked on was rest. Since I had, I mentioned that I had a miscarriage earlier, and that was
Mm,
I just got pregnant after that spiritual exercise I told you, right? And I had a miscarriage. So from there, I was really deliberate about managing stress. But for other people, you may need to lose weight, especially if you have hormonal issues, So it
mm,
depends from person to person, and your medical team, your GP, your gynae would be able to give you personalized advice. But generally, it's safe to take your supplements, your folic acid, and get some rest. Stop smoking. Stop taking alcohol. Don't even like secondhand. Is that what it's called? Secondhand smoke. Even your
Mm.
partner should stop smoking for his own health, and also so that you don't get to inhale it as well. Another thing was that I was put on supplements. Yeah, that was something different this second cycle. For 3 months, I was put on supplements, and also on blood thinners as well, that I used for 3 months before the cycle, and then I started using medication, um, hormonal medication, and then all the medication they gave me throughout the pregnancy as well. But the changes I would say that I did was, one, um, I prioritize rest, reduce stress, and also I got on supplements for about 3 months before my partner and I, actually, for about 3 months before we started the second IVF cycle.
Mm.
That's
Very
that's
good.
really important.
Very
That's
good.
really important. We're all on here. We always preach about lifestyle changes, especially people that their issues are related with like weight gain or just being more active generally. It doesn't do harm to the body to just be more active and rest when it's needed. And also, apart from resting your body, you also need to rest your mind. The more agitated or anxious you are, I think the lesser the chances of things going out well for you. So it's really, really important if you're listening as our audience to rest your body as Anu has prescribed. Yeah. So see your fertility experts to know the kind of treatment plan tailored for you. So, and also be active, do the necessary lifestyle change, no smoking, no drinking, just for things to be clearer. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we'll be rounding up now. It's been great having you on our show. I know your story is very inspiring. I'm very sure so many people have picked one or two things from it. Thank you for being very open. Thank you for sharing your story with us and our audience all across the globe. And we really wish you all the best as well for the rest of everything that you are working on and doing as well. So, any final
Yeah.
words from yourself, Ikma? Then we are going to have Anu also give our final words before we round off.
Yeah, yeah. As Bilkis said earlier, we're really, really thankful to have you on the show, like with somebody that has like first-hand experience to share and being brave enough to share with other people. We're inspired by what you do, and we can't wait for our audience. We don't handpick our audience, so
Yeah.
we're sure that it will get to somebody that is struggling, and hopefully this should be an inspiration to them that you should keep holding on and you find the right help, not listen to people that will just push things on them. They should find a plan that is tailored to them specifically, and keep praying and keep believing that their breakthrough is coming as well. So thank you so much for joining us in the studio today, and we would like you to share your own 5 cents about what you think other people going through the situation should do, and anything else you would like to add.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to chatting with you again. I hope you invite me again soon. So
Again.
my last so my last words would just be, I just keep saying it, please don't give up, don't lose hope. If you need to take breaks, that's perfectly fine. but please don't give up. And also, infertility does not deserve your worth, does not define your worth. I mean, we're not just born or created to have kids. There's so much more to you that, and this could be a time for you to find out more about who you are. Don't let your life be on a hold, on a stop, just because you're waiting. No, it's not just waiting for kids is a big deal. So I'm not going to use the word just because. But while you're waiting for your precious little ones, don't let your life be on a standstill. Be happy, make yourself happy, pick a hobby, do something you like, start a business, because your children deserve to come and meet them the best version of their mom. And if your marriage is shaky because of infertility, it might not be worth having kids in that situation or with that partner. It's important to work on your marriage before the kids come. And this is very important. People can smell desperation, and people are out there to take advantage of desperation. I know it's easy to say, but try not to be desperate, so you don't fall for scam, whether it's through a business or religious event or religious body, your priest, your pastor, your imam. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. Don't buy everything that you see on Instagram or on TikTok. Take advice from a fertility expert, from your own gynae. Take advice who has run tests and has come up with diagnosis and can support you.
Those are very powerful last statements. Very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your journey with us, and we wish you all the best going forward.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Information shared on this podcast are not to be considered medical advice. Always consult with a qualified medical professional for all your health concerns. Thank you.